10 days ago, I was you, scrolling, waiting, making excuses. Then I made a decision that felt impossible. And what happened next destroyed every lie I'd been telling myself. My energy exploded, my mind sharpened, and the person staring back at me in the mirror, I didn't recognize them anymore. This isn't theory. This is what happened when I stopped talking and started doing. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to share will either change your life or confirm you're not ready yet. For 10 days, I committed to 8 habits that most people call too hard or unrealistic. I woke up at 5 a.m. I trained my body. I fed my mind. I eliminated the poison. And I didn't negotiate with my excuses. The transformation wasn't just physical. It rewired how I think, how I move, and how I show up in this world. If you're tired of being stuck, if you're done with mediocrity, and pay attention, because these aren't just habits. They're weapons, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to use them. Let me tell you something about the morning that most people will never understand. Most people wake up defeated. They open their eyes, and the first thing they do is reach for their phone, checking messages, scrolling feeds, letting the world tell them who they need to be before they've even decided who they want to be. They hit snooze once, twice, 3 times, negotiating with themselves about 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, just a little more rest. And what they don't realize is that every time they hit that button, they were not just delaying their alarm, they're training themselves to quit. They're teaching their soul that comfort matters more than commitment. That's not rest, that's surrender. But here's what I discovered. When I set that alarm for 5 a.m. and refused to negotiate, the morning is where you either become the person you said you'd be, or you prove you were lying to yourself all along. 5 o'clock in the morning is sacred. It's quiet. The world hasn't started making demands yet. Your phone isn't buzzing. Your inbox isn't full. Nobody needs anything from you. It's just you and the promise you made to yourself the night before. And in that moment, when that alarm goes off, and it's dark, and it's cold, and every fiber of your being wants to stay in that warm bed, that's when you find out who you really are. That's when character is built, not in the afternoon when you're motivated. Not when you feel like it, but right there in that brutal moment of choice when nobody's watching and nobody would know if you quit. See, the 5 a.m. rule isn't about the time on the clock. You could wake up at 6 or 7 and still miss the point entirely. It's about the decision to win before the world wakes up. It's about taking back control of your day, your mind, your destiny. Because when you start your day reacting to emails, reacting to other people's emergencies, reacting to the chaos, you've already lost. You're playing defense for the next 16 hours. You're letting life happen to you instead of making life happen through you. But when you rise early, when you claim those quiet hours before dawn, something shifts. You're not reacting anymore. You're creating, you're building, you're 3 hours into your purpose while everyone else is still figuring out what to wear. You've already trained your body, fed your mind, planned your day, and fortified your spirit. You've already won. And when the rest of the world finally stumbles out of bed and starts their day in chaos, you're operating from a position of strength, clarity, and momentum they can't even comprehend. I'm telling you this because for years, I was the person hitting snooze. I was the person who said, I'm not a morning person. I was the person with all the excuses. I need my 8 hours. I'll be too tired. I'll start Monday. I'll do it when things calm down. And you know what all those excuses were? They were lies I told myself to avoid the one truth I didn't want to face. I was choosing comfort over my dreams. I was choosing sleep over my future. I was choosing to be ordinary when I was built for extraordinary. The moment I stopped negotiating with that alarm, everything changed. The moment I put my feet on that cold floor at 5 a.m., even when I didn't feel like it, especially when I didn't feel like it, I reclaimed something I'd lost. I reclaimed my power. I reclaimed my discipline. I reclaimed the right to call myself serious about my goals. And here's the beautiful part. When you do this consistently, when you string together day after day of winning that first battle of the morning, it changes how you approach everything else. If you can win at 5 a.m. when nobody's watching, you can win at 2 p.m. when everyone is. If you can keep your promise to yourself in the dark, you can keep it in the light. That morning discipline becomes the foundation for everything. Your health, your work, your relationships, your character. You want to know the real secret? The 5 a.m. rule isn't just about productivity. It's about self-respect. Every time you honor that commitment to yourself, you're sending a message to your subconscious mind, I am someone who does what I say I'm going to do. I am someone who doesn't break promises to myself. I am someone who values my future more than my temporary comfort. And when you send that message enough times, you become that person. Not someday, not eventually. Right now. So here's my question for you. What time did you wake up this morning? And more importantly, what did that decision say about who you're becoming? Because your morning ritual is either building the person you want to be, or it's destroying them. There's no middle ground. You're either taking control or giving it away. You're either winning or you're losing. And the battlefield isn't out there in the world. It's right there in your bedroom at 5 a.m. when that alarm goes off. The mirror doesn't lie. Your body tells the truth about your discipline, your consistency, your commitment, or the lack of it, and most people spend their entire lives running from that truth. They make excuses. They blame genetics. They say they don't have time, don't have energy, don't have the right gym membership or the perfect plan. But here's what they're really saying. I'm not willing to do what's hard to get what I want. And that's not a body problem. That's a character problem. Your body is the foundation of everything you're trying to build in this life. Everything. You want a better career? You need energy to outwork the competition. You want better relationships? You need the confidence that comes from respecting yourself. You want mental clarity? You need the discipline that physical training provides. You want to achieve your dreams? You need a vehicle strong enough to carry you there. And that vehicle is your body. If it's weak, if it's neglected, if it's running on poor fuel and zero maintenance, everything you try to build on top of it will eventually collapse. I learned this the hard way. For years, I treated my body like it was optional, like it was something I'd get to later after I handled the important things. I'd skip workouts because I was too busy. I'd eat garbage because it was convenient. I'd sacrifice sleep because I thought I was being productive. And all the while, I was wondering why I felt foggy, why I lacked energy, why I couldn't seem to break through to the next level in any area of my life. I had the goals, I had the ambition, but I didn't have the foundation. I was trying to build an empire on quicksand. Then something shifted. I stopped seeing my body as separate from my success and started seeing it as the source of my success. I realized that every morning I trained, I wasn't just building muscle. I was building the mental fortitude to handle pressure. Every time I pushed through that last rep when I wanted to quit, I was programming myself not to quit when life got hard. Every time I chose the healthy meal over the easy one, I was practicing delayed gratification, the exact skill you need to accomplish anything meaningful in this world. Physical strength builds mental strength. This isn't motivation talk, this is law. When you're physically strong, when you're fit, when you're taking care of your body with intention, something happens in your psychology. You walk different, you talk different, you think different, you stop making excuses in other areas of your life because you've woven to yourself that you can do hard things. You've proven you can get up early and train when you don't feel like it. You've proven you can say no to temptation. You've proven you can endure discomfort for a greater purpose. And once you prove that to yourself in the gym, in your runs, in your physical practice, you carry that proof into your work, into your relationships, into every challenge you face. See, most people think fitness is about vanity. They think it's about looking good in a mirror or impressing people at the beach. And sure, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look good, but that's surface level. That's not where the real transformation happens. The real transformation happens in your mind. It happens when you realize that the person who can control their body can control their destiny. The person who can push through physical pain can push through mental pain. The person who can commit to a training regimen can commit to anything. I'm talking about discipline, real discipline. Not the kind that shows up when you're motivated, but the kind that shows up on the days you feel like garbage. The kind that gets you to the gym at 6 a.m. even though you only slept 5 hours. The kind that makes you do the workout even when you're sore, tired, and mentally drained. Because here's the truth they don't tell you. Motivation is a liar. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. You can't build a life on motivation, but discipline is reliable. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline says, we made a commitment, and we're keeping it. And every time you honor that commitment in your physical training, you're strengthening the discipline muscle that runs your entire life. When I started training my body like my life depended on it, because it does, I noticed something profound. My mind became sharper. Problems that used to overwhelm me suddenly seemed manageable. Challenges that used to make me anxious became opportunities to prove my strength. I had more energy, more focus, more confidence, more clarity. Not because I had changed my circumstances, but because I had changed my foundation. I had become strong. And when you're strong, physically, mentally, emotionally, you become unstoppable. But here's where most people get it wrong. They wait until they feel ready. They wait until they have the perfect plan, the perfect schedule, the perfect equipment. They wait until Monday, until next month, until after the holidays, until things calm down. And while they're waiting, their body is deteriorating, their discipline is atrophying, their dreams are slipping further away. Because here's what I need you to understand. Your body isn't waiting for you to feel ready. It's responding to what you do right now, today, in this moment. Every decision you make, what you eat, whether you move, how you treat yourself, your body is listening, and it's becoming exactly what you're training it to become. You want to know why I trained my body every single one of those 10 days, even when I was sore, even when I was busy, even when I didn't feel like it? Because I finally understood that my body is not separate from my success. It is the foundation of my success. And you don't build a foundation when you feel like it. You build it brick by brick, day by day, rep by rep, meal by meal, choice by choice. You build it when it's hard. You build it when nobody's watching. You build it when you're tired and every excuse sounds reasonable. That's when you build it, because that's when it counts. Your body is a direct reflection of your standards. If your standards are low, your body will show it. If your standards are high, your body will show that too. If you're willing to settle for comfort and convenience, your body becomes soft, weak, unprepared for the battles ahead. But if you're willing to demand more from yourself, to train when it's hard, to fuel yourself with intention, to treat your body like the sacred temple it is, it becomes strong, resilient, capable of carrying you through anything this life throws at you. So I'm asking you, what is your body telling the world about who you are? What is it telling you about your discipline, your commitment, your standards? Because you can lie to other people, but you can't lie to that mirror. You can't lie to those jeans that don't fit anymore. You can't lie to that shortness of breath when you climb the stairs. Your body is keeping score, and the score is either building you up or breaking you down. The question is, what are you going to do about it today? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Are you going to move your body? Are you going to feed it with intention? Are you going to honor it with the care and discipline it deserves? Because your transformation doesn't start when you feel motivated. It starts when you decide that your foundation matters more than your feelings. It starts when you decide to become strong. And strength, real lasting strength, is built one decision at a time. There's a war happening right now, and most people don't even know they're losing. It's not happening on some distant battlefield, it's happening in your pocket. It's happening on your screen. It's happening every time. You pick up that phone and let the algorithm decide what you think about what you feel, what you believe, and who you become. You think you're just scrolling. You think you're just checking in. But what you're really doing is feeding your mind poison and then wondering why your life feels toxic. Let me tell you something that might make you uncomfortable. What you consume mentally is just as critical as what you consume physically. You wouldn't eat garbage 3 meals a day and expect to have a healthy body, would you? You wouldn't drink poison and expect to feel energized. Yet that's exactly what most people do with their minds. They wake up and immediately start consuming. Headlines designed to trigger fear, posts designed to spark outrage, videos designed to waste time, content that entertains but never elevates. And they do this for hours. And then they wonder why they feel anxious, unfocused, unmotivated, and stuck. Your mind is not a garbage dump. It's a garden. And like any garden, what grows there is a direct result of what you plant. You plant seeds of negativity, you harvest negativity. You plant seeds of distraction, you harvest a scattered, unfocused life. You plant seeds of mediocrity, you become mediocre. It's that simple. And it's that serious. Because everything you achieve, everything you create, everything you become, it all starts in that garden. And right now, for most people, that garden is overrun with weeds. I know this because I lived it. For years, I was consuming content mindlessly. Wake up, check the P. Home. Waiting in line, scroll through social media. Bored for 30 seconds, watch a meaningless video. Before bed, dive into the news and let the chaos of the world be the last thing that entered my mind. And I thought I was staying informed. I thought I was staying connected. But what I was really doing was staying distracted. I was filling my mind with other people's agendas, other people's drama, other people's negativity, and leaving no room for my own thoughts, my own vision, my own growth. Then I made a decision that changed everything. I stopped negotiating with my digital habits. I didn't gradually reduce them. I didn't tell myself I'd be more mindful. I cut them off, cold. I deleted the apps that were stealing my attention. I turned off every notification that wasn't absolutely essential. I stopped starting my day by checking what everyone else was doing and started it by deciding what I was going to do. And I replaced all that digital junk food with content that actually elevated me. Books that challenged my thinking, podcasts with people who had accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, information that made me better, stronger, clearer. And you know what happened? My mind cleared. Suddenly I had mental space again. Suddenly I could think deeper, focus longer, create better. Ideas that had been buried under layers of digital noise started emerging. Energy I didn't know I had started flowing. Because when you stop letting the world program your mind every waking moment, you finally get the chance to program it yourself. You finally get the chance to be intentional about what goes in. Because what goes in always, always comes out. See, the problem isn't technolo, guy itself. The problem is that we've handed over the keys to our consciousness to people who don't care about our growth. They care about our attention. They care about keeping us scrolling, clicking, watching, engaged, not because it's good for us, but because it's profitable for them. Every app, every platform, every algorithm is designed with one purpose: to keep you there as long as possible. They study your psychology, they exploit your weaknesses, they trigger your emotions, and while you're stuck in the scroll, while you're consuming content that makes you feel something but teaches you nothing, your dreams are sitting on the shelf collecting dust. I'm not telling you to disconnect from the world. I'm telling you to be ruthless about what you allow into your mind, because your mind is your most valuable asset. It's where your ideas are born. It's where your decisions are made. It's where your future is created. And if you fill it with negativity, distraction, and noise, that's exactly what your future will look like. But if you guard it, if you protect it, if you feed it with intention, with wisdom, with knowledge, with truth, you become unstoppable. Your thoughts become clearer. Your decisions become sharper. Your actions become more powerful. Because you're operating from a mind that's been nourished, not poisoned. Think about the last book you read. Think about the last meaningful conversation you had about ideas, about growth, about purpose. Think about the last time you sat in silence and just really thought about your life, your goals, your direction. Now think about the last 3 hours you spent on social media. Be honest. Which one moved you closer to the person you want to become? Which one actually added value to your life? Which one made you better? Your mind is a garden. And if you don't decide what to plant there, the world will plant it for you. It'll plant fear through the news. It'll plant comparison through social media. It'll plant distraction through endless entertainment. It'll plant doubt through the voices of people who never took a risk telling you why you shouldn't either. And before you know it, your garden, the place where your dreams should be growing, is full of weeds so thick you can't even remember what you planted in the first place. But here's the good news. You can change this today, right now. You can take back control of your mental diet. You can decide that from this moment forward, nothing enters your mind unless it serves your growth. You can replace mindless scrolling with intentional learning. You can replace negative news with empowering content. You can replace other people's drama with your own vision. You can feed your mind the way you'd feed a champion, with intention, with quality, with purpose. During those 10 days, I made a commitment. Everything I consumed had to either teach me something, inspire me to action, or elevate my thinking. No exceptions, no mindless consumption, no digital junk food. And I'm telling you, that discipline transformed not just my days, but my entire mindset. I started seeing opportunities I'd been blind to. I started having ideas I'd never had before. I started moving toward my goals with a clarity and focus I didn't know was possible. All because I stopped letting the algorithm control my mind and started controlling it myself. This isn't about being ECT. This isn't about never watching a video or never scrolling a feed. This is about being intentional. This is about recognizing that your mental input directly determines your life's output. If you want extraordinary results, you need to consume extraordinary content. If you want to think differently than the masses, you need to feed your mind differently than the masses. If you want to break free from mediocrity, you need to stop consuming mediocre content. So here's what I need you to do. Look at what you consume today. Look at what you watched, what you read, what you listened to, and ask yourself honestly, did that make me better, or did it just make me busy? Did that move me forward, or did it just pass the time? Did that elevate my thinking, or did it just entertain me? Because entertainment without education is just distraction. And distraction is the enemy of greatness. Your mind is a garden. Feed it weeds, and weeds are all you'll harvest. But feed it with wisdom, with knowledge, with truth, and you'll harvest a life beyond anything you imagined. The seeds you plant today become the reality you live tomorrow. So plant carefully, plant intentionally, plant like your future depends on it.